Acting President Yemi Osinbajo terminates the appointment of Director General, Directorate of the State Security Service. Frowns at unauthorized barricade of the National Assembly.
To ensure that more and more Nigerians are able to interact with the budget and to understand it.
Fourth National Steering Committee meeting of the Open Government Partnership gets underway in Abuja. Federal government restates commitment to transparency in government.
It presents us a great opportunity in the history of our state.
Towards boosting international trade, Cross River State Government makes public presentation of concept design for Bakassi Deep Sea Port. And ahead of his defection to the All Progressives Congress, Senator Godswill Akpabio resigns as Senate Minority Leader. Hello and thanks for joining us on NTA Network News with me, Muhammad Kudu Abubakar in Abuja. Mohammed Ibrahim joins us from Maiduguri and Kemi Oshin is in Ibadan. Acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has ordered the termination of the appointment of the Director General, Directorate of State Security Service, DSS, Lawal Musa Daura, with immediate effect. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Office of the Acting President, Lawal Luakonde, says Lawal Daura has been directed to hand over to the most senior officer of the agency until further notice. The statement further said that Acting President Yemi Osinbajo described the unauthorized takeover of the National Assembly complex Tuesday morning as a gross violation of constitutional order and rule of law. Professor Osinbajo says the unlawful act, which was done without the knowledge of the presidency, is condemnable and completely unacceptable. The acting president, however, assures Nigerians that all persons within the law enforcement apparatus who participated in this travesty will be brought to appropriate disciplinary action. Events at the National Assembly complex that led to the sacking of the Director General DSS, Lawal Musa Daura, began in the wee hours of Tuesday morning. National Assembly correspondent Laimi Ali reports on what transpired and the background.
On Monday, news broke that the National Assembly leadership will be meeting Tuesday at noon to deliberate on national issues and then meet with the Independent National Electoral Commission later over its budget for 2019 elections. However, by 6 a.m. Tuesday, the National Assembly was barricaded by security agents, stopping workers, legislators and journalists from gaining access into the National Assembly complex. Later, the security agents allowed only members of the National Assembly into the complex, but the two chambers remained locked and senators as well as House members had to loiter in the lobby.
We cannot say exactly what is happening. We came as usual. We're on recess, but we normally come to the office to do our official duties, committee works, and finish our reports since we are still around. And when we were coming in, we were debarred from having access into the National Assembly.
There are committee works going on, and I was totally taken aback that there's a whole barricade, and now it has created room for all sorts of rumors that some senators intended to come and impeach the Senate President. Very far-fetched. I cannot see how they will achieve that without the whole Senate Assembly.
Absolutely unnecessary and called for.
It was about 3 p.m. that the security personnel barricading the gates allowed free entrance into the National Assembly. Lami Ali, NTA News.
Following what the authority described as unauthorized seizure of the National Assembly complex, the Inspector General of Police has denied any involvement of the officers and men of the Nigerian police force in the incident. In a brief chat with the media at the State House, the IGP said investigation is ongoing as to what led to the siege, as well as those involved.
Obviously, like I said, I've not got a detailed brief on that. But when I get the detailed brief, we are going to, in fact, we are going to make a release from the owner now.
Is police involved?
No, we are not. In fact, to me, it's a surprise to me. You know.
But they said they got orders from above, so why is it a surprise to you?
Who said?
And that's what we heard.
I don't know who said it, but like I said, police are not involved.
Do you see it as an attack on democracy also?
Attack on? No, it can't be an attack on democracy. We are all democratic institutions, all of us.
Thank you. Yeah. We appreciate that.
So thank you.
The All Progressive Congress, APC, has condemned the invasion of the National Assembly by security forces, describing it as unfortunate and affront to Nigeria's democracy. A statement by the acting National Publicity Secretary of the party says the APC, which has no part in the saga, remains a law-abiding political organization and advises every constituent to abide by the tenets of the Constitution and democracy. The APC says it acknowledges the legislature as an independent arm of government that must be allowed free rein for vibrant contestation of ideas and values amongst its members within the context of their constitutional mandate. The APC further called for a harmonious relationship between the various arms of government. The acting Director General of the DSS, Matthew Seyefa, spent close to an hour with the acting President Yemi Osinbajo a few hours after he was directed to act in place of the sacked DG Lawal Musa Daura. The acting Director General, who hails from Bayelsa State, was before his appointment the most senior director in the service, and was also the Director, Institute of Security Studies, Abuja. With about 34 years of experience, Mr. Seyefa has served in different capacities, including State Director, Osun, Akwa Ibom, and Lagos States. Meanwhile, Senator Godswill Akpabio has formally resigned as Senate Minority Leader, coming ahead of his scheduled formal defection from the PDP to the All Progressive Congress, APC. The senator, who spoke to newsmen on arrival at Akwa Ibom International Airport, Uyo, this afternoon, called on Nigerians to support President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to a better Nigeria. Imo Etemudo has the story.
Senator Godswill Akpabio, who on arrival at Ibom International Airport was received by a teeming crowd of supporters, said the federal government of Nigeria, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, should not be distracted if the country must overcome its challenges. He added that as a nationalist and a statesman, he cannot sit down and watch those he said do not mean well for Nigeria to bring down the country. According to him, Nigerians are tired of deceit, hence all well-meaning Nigerians must support President Muhammadu Buhari to succeed.
My decision today is that my people cannot and will never sit back while Nigeria is suffering. We must support the government of the day so that Nigeria can survive before election.
On why he is joining the APC, Senator Akpabio said his former party has no respect for loyalty, as those who betrayed it in the past are readmitted and celebrated, saying that such situation impedes development and progress.
For me as a nationalist, I'm a stakeholder, I have children. I would like to bequeath a peaceful Nigeria to my children.
In Uyo, Imo Etimudo, NTA News.
Wife of the President, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, has reaffirmed her commitment to support Nigerian women aspiring for elected positions on the platform of the All Progressive Congress, APC, to ensure the attainment of the 35% affirmative action for sustainable national growth and development. Mrs. Buhari stated this when she received the newly elected national woman leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
These are the newly elected APC women leaders at both national, zonal and the 36 states of the Federation, including FCT. This is the first time they are meeting with the wife of the president since their election recently. The purpose of their meeting, according to the newly elected APC national woman leader Salamatu Baiwa, was to acquaint the wife of the president on their agenda of enhancing the cause of the Nigerian women, which they tagged as No Women Left Behind, for their quest of veritable contribution to national development.
In more specific terms, our agenda, Your Excellency, shall focus on initiating and sustaining programs for the advancement and empowerment of women.
I want to reassure you that we will work assiduously to support the new national women leader.
We are here to assure you, Your Excellency, of our loyalty and ability to join hands as we all move this great party forward.
The wife of the president urged them to sustain the tempo in their support to the present administration and operate within the party constitution and the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I'm happy to note that APC women have a unique tradition of uniting through dialogue. I call on you all to sustain the tempo as elections are around the corner. There is no time. On this note, we should continue to support the good work of this government.
While urging them to continue championing the cause of women in Nigeria, the wife of the president called on them to always desist from any act that will tarnish their personal integrity or truncate the interest of the party and the nation and focus on developmental agenda. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Nigeria has again restated its commitment to the running of an open and transparent government through the installation of a predictable system of government. This commitment was projected at the opening of the 4th National Steering Committee meeting of the Open Government Partnership holding in Abuja. Femi Okewo reports.
With just about 2 years as a member of the Open Government Partnership, Nigeria has since become more or less a rallying point, both at the international level and based on its local initiative. The meeting of the National Steering Committee serves as more or less an engine room for this initiative in Nigeria. The National Steering Committee is to oversee the development of the Open Government Partnership in Nigeria, provide guidance and direction for the process, and ensure its sustenance. Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, who presented the Minister of Justice message, said the government has done particularly well in the area of financial transparency.
This effort is to ensure that more and more Nigerians are able to interact with the budget and to understand it. Let me also mention that the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation has published a full year 2016 audit report of the federal government with very, very far-reaching recommendations.
Part of what the Abuja meeting is expected to look into is the implementation of decisions taken at previous meetings, contributions from various organs that make up the OGP in Nigeria, and recommendations from the international summits. Nigeria was elected into the International Steering Committee of the OGP earlier this year. Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Time now for a break for some messages. Stay with the NTA.
People, no let Palasa phone fall your hand this year. Kia go buy 3G or 4G smartphone, or bring that your phone con join MTN, and then go summer you with 100% awoof data bam on top every data bundle way you buy for the next 3 months. So drop that Palasa now, change your levels so that you go fit enjoy fast internet on the network we get data for everywhere for we country Nigeria. This offer day open to new and old MTN customers.
A beautiful life and a great future is possible. Stand with Standards Organization of Nigeria. Avoid substandard products, electrical appliances with damaging effects, tires without DOT number, stuffed and rusty edges. They can cause accidents. 12.5 kg LPG cylinders used as camp gas is a disaster waiting to happen. Substandard cables can cause inferno. Other substandard products to avoid include batteries, electrical bulbs, iron rods, pressing iron, brake pads. They will only endanger our today and future. Join hands with SON in ridding our country of substandard products. Don't buy or sell substandard products. See something, say something. Call these numbers. Standards Organization of Nigeria. Improving life through standards.
Winning in hot and dry conditions is hard. Causes the body to sweat, which attracts germs that are easily passed from one person to another. What keeps you so cool, man?
Dettol Cool
Cool combines Dettol's protection and an invincible icy feel. For super cool confidence, use Dettol Cool.
Dettol soap is now also available for 100 naira only.
Babe, who be this?
I got this, okay? Just...
Found it. Honey, you can keep him. I've got this.
Do anything to get your Airtel SIM back on if you haven't used it for 30 days or more to enjoy 20 times the recharge value. Recharge 100 naira and dial *241# to get 2,000 naira.
50! No, hurry, Jeff, and then there's a girl back.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Now you too can win big in the 2018 3 Crowns Mom of the Year competition. Yes, yes! A trip to Dubai for 3 is up for grabs. Mothers are special. They always go the extra mile for us. And what better way to appreciate them by nominating them for this year's Mom of the Year crown? Write a 100-word story why your mom or nominee should be crowned the 3 Crowns Mom of the Year. Submit your write-up, your nominee's picture with empty packs of 3 Crowns milk products at any collection center near you. Terms and conditions apply.
3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Thank you for remaining with the NTA. International trade activities will soon receive a boost in Nigeria with the conceptualization of the Bakassi Deep Sea Port project in Cross River State. Governor Ben Ayade, while speaking at the presentation of the concept design for the project by a Nigerian-based engineering firm, announced that the project will impact the national economy. Correspondent Uduak Etim has details.
The Bakassi Deep Sea Port is a visionary project of Governor Ben Ayade aimed at improving the economic frontiers of Nigeria. The project, expected to be the deepest in Africa with 2.5-kilometer coastlines, would allow all sizes of vessels to berth.
It presents us a great opportunity in the history of our state that we have edged forward in the process of the actualization of the Bakassi Deep Sea Port. Evidently, from the design concept, it is obvious and clear that it is realizable, it is feasible, it is viable, therefore has great economic potential.
Head of Delegation Justin Wang, during the presentation, explained that the project will include ports and industrial park as well as other sites. Bakassi Deep Sea Port is believed to be a significant milestone in the economic development of Cross River State and the nation at large. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
The second quarterly review meeting of the World Bank-assisted Community and Social Development Project has commenced in Minna, the Niger State capital. Hussaini Musa reports that the meeting, which has participants from 30 states and the Federal Capital Territory, is aimed at ascertaining the level of progress made in achieving the set goals of the project.
The Community and Social Development Project, which seeks to assist communities develop their social and natural resource infrastructure for their benefit in tandem with their immediate needs, has so far disbursed 14 billion naira for over 4,000 projects at various levels of completion. National Coordinator, CSDP, Dr. Abdulkarim Obaje, and Acting General Manager, Niger State CSDP, Yusuf Ahmed Musa, says implementation of the projects is in line with the development priorities of all the state government as it relates to poverty reduction, employment creation, and wealth generation.
We shall take a critical look at our operational processes once again and devise means of making direct contribution to the agenda of our state government.
It is worthy to mention that despite the great commitments of the state government, it has graciously released 70 million naira as counterpart fund.
Representative of the Niger State Governor and Commissioner for Agriculture, Haruna Nuhuduku, says the state government will continue to foster relationship with development partners, especially that their interventions are enhancing the state government's ability to provide basic services to the people. Stakeholders at the meeting emphasized the need for synergy among the development partners in order to avoid duplication of projects and ensure wider coverage. Imena Hussein Musa, NTA News.
Nigerian engineers have again been challenged to live up to their role of fast-tracking industrialization in the 21st century. This was at the 27th Assembly of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, with the theme, The Nigerian Build Industry, Building a Sustainable Structure with Allied Professionals. Chimidema Ndewisi has the report.
In time past, foreign firms were preferred when it comes to project execution. The narrative is, however, changing with President Buhari's signing of Executive Order 5, which promotes science, technology and innovation, as well as use of indigenous engineering companies in executing projects. These products, manufactured using raw materials that are locally sourced, are evidence of the new direction in engineering.
The hydropower, the factory bounced back to life, and we used all of it, Nigerian engineers.
At the 27th Engineering Assembly of COREN, representative of President Muhammadu Buhari and other speakers say upholding professional ethics is key to preventing building collapse, abandoned projects, and disparity in cost of similar structures across geopolitical zones, seen as corrupt practices.
We therefore need combined knowledge, capital and other resources to face the task of development.
For the regulatory body, strict adherence to standards with amendment of its act to enforce sanctions and collaboration with other professional bodies will help in building sustainable structures.
The ball is now in the court of the Nigerian engineering practitioners and others to prove that they are competent and able to execute projects that meet international standards.
A book on code of ethics and professional guidelines was launched in Abuja. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
Substandard driving schools in Nigeria that fail to comply with full standard requirements for their operation before the 30th of September 2018 will be shut down and their licenses withdrawn by the Federal Road Safety Corps. Co-Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi gave this ultimatum at the opening session of a World National Workshop for Driving School Operators in the North Central Geopolitical Zone, Abuja. Mitari Ekben has the report.
To bridge the safety gaps, the Driving School Standardization Program DSSP was initiated by the FROSC in 2006 to ascertain the quality of facilities and trainers deployed for driver education, training and certification. More than a decade after, FROSC Co-Marshal and other sector players say the quality of the driving schools and their products still leaves much to be desired.
I submit that the driving schools have not lived up to the required expectations, and this is a very sad development.
If you go to some driving schools, the vehicles they are using for the driving school is not roadworthy.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, represented by the Permanent Secretary, General Service Office, Adekunle Olusegun, gave the FRSC full government backing to sanction erring operators.
FRSC has been mandated to take full actions against those already identified as saboteurs of the system.
The driving school operators, on their part, blamed the proliferation of uncertified driving schools on weak enforcement and stringent requirements by the FRSC.
We also recommended to have a driving range, 10 plot of land somewhere as a driving range. You know, it's very capital intensive.
This position perhaps lends credence to the plea by the FRSC that state governments and corporate organizations should establish model driving schools for the public. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikwe, NTA News.
Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, has urged stakeholders in road transportation to collaborate with relevant agencies to reduce road accidents and the incidences of underage driving in the country. Emir Sanusi stated this in Kano when the National Union of Road Transport Workers paid him a courtesy visit at his palace. Mansur Aliyu Hassan reports.
The visit to the Emir by the executives of the National Union of Road Transport Workers was part of their 40 years anniversary and also to pay homage. Emir of Kano Muhammad Sanusi II says the union has a vital role to play in addressing challenges of road traffic violations in the country. He also called on them to always enlighten their members on the dangers associated with illegal motor parks, overspeeding among others. NURT President Najim Usman Yassin said, reducing the high rate of accident on the highways is paramount to them, highlighting some of its achievements in the last 40 years.
Your Highness, on behalf of the entire members of the National Union of Road Transport Workers in Nigeria, we are here today in your palace to seek for a royal blessing, to bless this organization as we attain 40 years. And His Royal Highness, we commend you and thank you very much for the good job you are doing for the people of this emirate and Nigeria in general.
The NURTW was established in 1978 with the aim of promoting unity and cohesion among Nigerians. In Kano, Mansur Aliyu Hassan, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force is to establish a quick response unit in Agatu local government area of Benue State to combat security challenges along the Benue-Nasarawa state corridors. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar stated this during a visit to the Air Force base in Makudi. Achigile Magaji reports.
The Chief of Air Staff noted that already work has commenced on the unit, which will be completed soon and made operational. Air Marshal Abubakar said personnel for the special unit are undergoing training in Kaduna and will be deployed immediately work is completed.
We are supposed to activate a quick response wing in Agatu, so we have been renovating the facility. I want to take a look at how far we have gone with regards to renovation.
At the 131 Engineering Group, the Air Chief expressed delight that for the first time, indigenous personnel of the Nigerian Air Force have carried out a 400-hour inspection and maintenance work on its specialized aircraft, F-7 NAV 812, at reduced costs.
This is something that is so special to us. If we were to do this outside, it would have costed a lot of money. But the fact that we did it here, from the briefing given to me by the commander, we did everything for about 3 million naira or thereabouts. This is something that would have cost over 30 million.
The Chief of Air Staff also inspected the 1.3 million cubic meters capacity waterworks under construction at the base, which is at 75% completion. He later had an interactive session with the personnel where issues of welfare, logistics and policy direction took center stage. In Makudi, Achigile Magaji, NTA News.
Elizabeth is in Lagos for more stories on NTA Network News. Over to you, Elizabeth.
Hello, Kudu, and a warm welcome to Lagos. Speakers of state houses of assembly have charged the federal government to direct relevant agencies to ensure prompt implementation of the new constitutional provision granting financial autonomy to the judiciary and legislature. This was part of the communique reached at the end of the state houses of assembly speakers conference held in Lagos. Justin Moses reports.
The speakers, in a communique issued at the end of the 2018 second quarter conference, deliberated on national issues, including their autonomy as an organ of government, as they reviewed and adopted the report of a special committee which they had earlier set up to facilitate an effective and efficient implementation of the financial autonomy law. The conference also called on various state houses of assembly to ensure meaningful engagement with the executive arms in their respective states for a seamless implementation of the law in order to enhance democracy in Nigeria. Speedy amendment of the Constitution by the National Assembly for the establishment of state police and the need for politicians to put national interest above personal interest were also emphasized.
The conference also called on the Nigerian police to be more professional and apolitical in the discharge of its constitutional responsibilities by desisting from invading and occupying legislative houses in the country. And finally, the conference also used the opportunity to commiserate with the people and the government of Zamfara State and all other states in Nigeria that have been grossly attacked by the bandits and insurgency in the country.
The Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, was elected to take over from his Kebbi State counterpart as the chairman of the conference. In Lagos, Jesuton Moses, NTA News.
The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has launched its Coalition for Electoral Integrity project in Lagos. The national chairman of the party, Ralph Onwoso, told newsmen that the project is aimed at correcting the flaws in the nation's democratic space. Ken Igbelu reports that the project is against vote buying and various electoral malpractices.
Vote buying has become a contemporary challenge flowing from occurrences during recent elections in Nigeria. The launch of the Coalition for Electoral Integrity by the African Democratic Congress is to assess and analyze the impact of such electoral abuses in the country. It is also to educate the electorate on the need to protect their votes.
The fact that ADC has decided to start such a project, some of them are bigger, but we want to challenge them. We challenge you on the election day for voting. We also want to challenge you on building the ethics of democracy.
Other speakers agree that a comprehensive and robust legal framework could address the incident of vote buying during elections.
They owe it a duty to educate our people, to conscientize them, to let them know that they are selling their future. They are destroying their own heritage when they say their votes to politicians. It should be termed criminal. The INEC has to push for a law to make it criminal. If you are caught selling or buying vote, you should go to jail.
The African Democratic Congress says the Coalition for Electoral Integrity will function as a non-partisan body. The party expects other political parties, civil society organizations, and government at all levels to key into the project in order to deepen democracy in the country. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
The Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment, Haja Aisha Abubakar, says the federal government has set up a committee to collaborate with the United Nations International Development Organization, UNIDO, other internal agencies, ministries, departments and agencies for the purpose of repositioning the process of inspecting and certifying agri-produce to meet international standards of trade and export. Amaka Owa reports that the conference was convened to look into ways of improving Nigerian goods for export to avoid rejection.
The Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment reiterated efforts of the federal government to diversify the economy through the non-oil sector and encourage international trade. She decried the alarming rate at which Nigerian agricultural produce are being rejected at the international markets, attributing it to failure of some exporters who she says cut corners and export their produce without adhering to standards and certification processes.
We're trying to encourage the FPIS, that is the Federal Produce Inspectorate Services, by enhancing their capacity, and this is just in a bid to ensure that whatever is going out of the country has been properly certified and inspected.
Director Commodities and Products Inspectorate Department, Omololu Obeewe, said that with the increased staff strength and collaborations with sister agencies, tackling the various challenges will soon be a thing of the past.
We have certified warehouses that you first have to take your goods. After certification, they also fumigate these products and even fumigate the ship that take.
We are ensuring that we're building quality into the products that are being manufactured in Nigeria so that they can compete in the international markets.
The Federal Product Inspectorate Service has inspected and certified over 600,000 metric tons of agro-commodities valued at over $1 million between 2015 and 2017. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead. Stay with us.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
Oh, that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. A delicious combination of rich cocoa and wholesome goodness of milk. Just add hot water to get an instant chocolatey treat. Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. Just add hot water.
This is where you'll be, pitching that breakthrough idea of yours. But before any of that, there's stuff to get done, starting now. First, you'll have to clear out your schedule. Sorry, guys. You fellas, too. You'll make it up to her.
You better.
Now, let's get to work. Keep at it. Looking good. Ooh, love it. Oh, not good enough. Well, let's start over again. And again, and again. Pressure will get to you. But you will rise up and power through it all. Then step onto that stage and hit them with that idea. Bam! See, they all love it. Even this guy. You, my friend, are unstoppable, power horse. Unstoppable you.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Welcome back to NTA Network News in Abuja. Nigeria's procurement process to aid effective implementation of the 2018 budget is in progress, and the equities market continues its losing streak. Amina Nigerian has more on business news.
Government spending consumes a large chunk of Nigeria's budget, and to ensure prudent management of these limited resources is sustainable procurement in the implementation of the 2018 budget. Subsequently, procurement officers converged on Abuja to deepen their understanding of the procurement process, all in an attempt to promote accountability.
Fighting corruption by eliminating the use of falsified documents in the bidding process.
The Nigerian equities market continues extended decline on Tuesday, depreciating by 0.40% to close the OSHA index at 36,333.80 basis points. Meanwhile, the Nigerian capital market will on Wednesday witness the launch of the Association of Securities Exchange of Nigeria at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The NSE, in a statement, described ASEN as the nation's first association of domestic securities exchange and a non-profit industry association established to accelerate the development of domestic securities exchange and support the Nigerian capital market to achieve greater global competitiveness. Finally, trade in Angola and Nigerian crude cargoes got off to a slow start this week, leaving differentials broadly unchanged, although traders say an easing in buying from Asia set to push West African barrels into the already oversupplied European markets. Raising output from Atlantic Basin rivals such as Libya, coupled with a less favorable arbitrage window both east and west, have dampened July's brisk pace of trade. That is business news for this hour. Good evening. I am Amina Nujain.
And time to join Mohammed in Maiduguri for development from the northeast geopolitical zone. Hello, Mohammed. Over to you.
Hello, Kudu. Thank you and welcome to Maiduguri. The returnees of Gudumbari, headquarters of Guzamala local government area in northern part of Borno State, have been urged to embark on community policing and build up resilience to protect themselves. This came to the fore when the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative and Borno State government distributed food and non-food items to the returnees who have started going back to their localities since June this year. Jesse Tafida reports.
About 5,000 beneficiaries who are mostly widows, orphans and the aged benefited from the distribution exercise. Borno State Commissioner of Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum said the food items were donated by the Presidential Committee on the Northeast Initiative, while the clothing materials were given by Multisectoral Crisis Recovery Project under the ministry as part of its transitional support towards stabilization and self-reliance of those worst hit by the insurgency. The Commissioner said 98% success has been recorded in the distribution exercise, adding that very soon, public structures in the area such as schools, hospital and security posts will be reconstructed to restore civil authority. He said his ministry has provided 1,000 bundles of corrugated roofing sheets and other building materials for distribution to individual households with conditional cash grants to enable them rebuild their houses. Borno State Coordinator of the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative, Engineer Chiroma Abbakaka, said the PCNI is ever ready to come to the aid of those affected by insurgency in the region and appeal to the beneficiaries to use the items for the purpose intended. In Maiduguri, Jesse Tafida, NTA News.
Designated registration centers for collection of permanent voter cards within Maiduguri Metropolitan Council and Jere local government area are experiencing influx of people with less than 10 days to closure of the exercise, thereby making the process difficult. Abubakar Mohamed Musa has the report.
It could be recalled that registration for obtaining permanent voter cards commenced on 27 April 2018 across the country. However, despite the provision of 38 registration centers across the state and other measures put in place by the Borno State Independent National Electoral Commission to capture significant number of targeted beneficiaries, some assistant electoral officers said the influx of unregistered persons is seriously affecting the exercise, in addition to overstretching of working gadgets, while others decried that double registration as well as misplacement of permanent voter cards are their major constraint. As part of effort to ease the challenges confronting the exercise, Borno State INEC has provided 2 additional mobile centers in MMC and Jere local government areas.
The Commission also decided that the time for registration has to be extended. I mean the daily time. Before we were registering from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, but now it has been extended from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening, including Saturdays, Sundays, and probably public holidays.
For now, most of the unregistered persons are filled with tension, hoping to get registered before Friday, 17th August 2018. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Muhammad Musa, NTA News.
Time to join Kemi in Ibadan for more on NTA Network News. Kemi.
Thank you, Mohammed, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Minister of State for Agriculture, Heineken Lukpobori, has advocated collaborative efforts between the federal and state government to combat the menace of smuggling, which is negatively affecting local production. The minister made the call at the inauguration of a federal assisted fish feed mill and fish processing center at Eriwe Farm Village in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State. Leko Agbode has details.
The Fish Processing Center, with a complement of feed mill and cold room, is an initiative supported by the federal government to reduce poverty and promote self-sufficiency in food production. The initiative of the Ijebu Traditional Council, the Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Henikin Lukobiri, noted that the project is in line with the Buhari administration's efforts in promoting aquaculture as government meets the local target of 3.5 million metric tons of national fish requirement.
The government will collaborate with Ogun State government so that we can achieve our objective of, not only, attaining self-sufficiency, particularly in our staples.
The minister also went around on inspection of federal and state agricultural projects such as Ogeri Agricultural Market, Odeda Farm Settlement, and a plantation in Ijebu-Ode. He had earlier paid a courtesy call on the state governor, Ibikula Musun, where the governor pledged support to the federal government to combat small. The governor commended the efforts of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in using agriculture to enhance homegrown economy. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbode, NTA News.
Exclusive breastfeeding for infants remains the best practice for nursing mothers to ensure healthy living and enhance growth for both mother and child. In line with this, first week of August is World Breastfeeding Week, meant to sensitize mothers on importance of breast milk. Busola Aworu has details.
According to the 2014 National Nutrition and Health Survey, approximately 7 million children are born in Nigeria every year, and only 25% are exclusively breastfed.
That breastfeeding is the most important food for my baby. One, it's hygienic compared to all this milk. You have to sterilize the bottles. In place of doing that, germs can easily enter.
A baby breast milk is what we meant from our parents, and that's what I've been practicing since this is my second child.
As part of measures to advance progress in the advocacy of exclusive breastfeeding, the Breastfeeding Week is observed globally.
We used to tell them that whatever they take, the child take from them.
Feed them from 0 to 6 months. There are benefits of breastfeeding. You can see for the babies. The baby will grow normally. There will not be any diarrhea.
The theme for this year's breastfeeding, Foundation for Life. Mothers should be better repositioned in care given to their infants. In Ibadan, Busola Aworu, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. It's back to Kudu in Abuja for more on Network News.
Thank you, Kemi. Still on exclusive breastfeeding, the World Health Organization, WHO, report indicates that Nigeria records about 20.7% success rate in exclusive breastfeeding. For the nation to achieve the WHO target of 50% success in exclusive breastfeeding by 2025, Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, advocates the need to change the narratives on the exclusive breastfeeding campaigns across the country. Bazi Itaikban has the story.
Now, Roslyn was one of those women who wanted to maintain their beauty at the expense of the growth of their babies.
As a young girl, I breastfed my first son for just 3 months because I didn't want my breast to sag. And that child was sick for 3 years.
No wonder speakers at the Breastfeeding Week say the 2018 theme, Breastfeeding the Foundation, is apt.
Very sound one. Every child born go through the breastfeeding foundation.
It is the healthiest and simplest and least expensive means of meeting the nutritional needs of newborn babies.
The Minister of Health said federal government and the Ministry of Labour and Employment are working out modalities to ensure Nigeria meets the WHO's 2025 target.
We want to make malnutrition a thing of the past in this country. Milk is packaged by God for the baby, and there can be nothing better than that food produced by God.
Men also have the role to play if Nigeria must achieve this goal.
Because breastfeeding exclusively requires a lot of work from the woman, and as a man you have to give your wife a full support.
Exclusive breastfeeding, aside its benefits to mother and the growth of the child, experts say contributes to the socio-economic development of the nation. Basi Taikbang, NTA News.
Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Suleiman Kazauri, has warned Corps members against organizing social events without approval of appropriate authorities. He gave the warning while addressing Corps members at the NYSC orientation camp in Ikare Akoko, Ondo State. Abiodun Oladepo has the story.
The visit of the NYSC Director General to orientation camps nationwide is to have on-the-spot assessment of the facilities on each of the camps and how corps members are faring. Addressing about 2,000 corps members currently on orientation in Ikare, Ondo State, Brigadier General Suleiman Kasaure, who is still manning the death of 9 corps members in Taraba State, warned other corps members against traveling without official permission.
Before you embark on any social outings, you must inform your ally through your CLO.
Earlier, the state coordinator of the scheme had intimated the visiting DG and his entourage with the state of the facilities on the camp.
Equally, both the NYSC and non-NYSC officials have been very much alert to the task of providing practical step-by-step training to the corps members so as to prepare them for their particular roles in nation building.
In spite of the money mood of the NYSC, General Kasaure still appreciated few corps members who have proved their worth since the beginning of this orientation exercise. From Ikare Akoko, Abiodun Oladepo, NTA News.
Time for another break. We have more stories when we return.
The 2018 World Cup has come and gone, but Nigeria's participation, performance and conduct remain on the front burner. Tuesday Live this week examines Nigeria's participation and matters arising therefrom. It promises to be incisive, educative and informative. Don't miss it.
Madam. Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah? I was
you take that one. Take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
no other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
For highlights from the foreign scene, here is Adebola Brookslyn Sunday.
It's nice to have you join us on this segment of the news. Rescue workers are searching the ruins of a mosque in Lombok, Indonesia, where people were trapped by Sunday's deadly earthquake. Death toll in the 6.9 magnitude quake is now nearly 145, and at least 20,000 people have been rendered homeless. National Search and Rescue Agency said 2 people have already been rescued from the rubble. And former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Najib, has been charged with money laundering by Anti-Graft Agency a day before his pre-trial hearing for earlier charges. Najib Rajak will be charged under the Money Laundering Act on Wednesday in connection with an ongoing scandal concerning the 1MBD State Investment Fund. Najib, 65, was summoned on Tuesday to the office of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, where he was questioned for about 45 minutes. Meanwhile, Ivory Coast President Alassane Ouattara has granted the jailed former First Lady of the country, Simon Gbagbo, an amnesty and about 800 people pardoned. Mr. Otare said some people had been prosecuted or sentenced for offenses connected to the violence that killed thousands of people after the elections that brought him to power in 2010. Mrs. Gbagbo was jailed for such offenses and had also been facing a new trial of crime against humanity. Her husband, ex-President Laurent Gbagbo, is already being tried at the International Criminal Courts. And that's the much we can take at this time.
And in sports, action